Hello guys, welcome to a new video. This is all about physical and psychological health. So this is part of occupational risk assessment and understanding the hazards related to workplace. So first hazard is noise hazard. Why it is called hazard? Hazard means anything has a potential to cause you harm. But can you avoid this 100%? No. Why? Example, electricity is a hazard. Can you live without electricity? It's a big no, right? Similarly, we have lot of hazards around us. Suppose you want to travel by helicopter. Noise hazard must be there, right? Otherwise, we cannot travel. So, here we are studying how to live with that hazard without affecting us, without giving any bad effect to us. So, in your workplace, there will be lot of hazards, different kinds of hazards, physical hazards, mental hazards, psychological hazards, chemical hazards. Lot of hazards will be there, right? So here we are learning about noise hazard. So the learning outcome of today's session is what is occupational noise, definition and examples, importance of managing noise hazards, why we need to manage these hazards, impact on health and safety. So what can go wrong, what can go wrong, who will be affected, how it will be affected, how it will be affected. Outline the health effects associated with exposure to noise and appropriate control measures. So what is occupational noise? Occupational noise refers to unwanted or harmful sound that is present in a work environment. So it's an unwanted noise. Everybody knows that. Correct? So why we want this unwanted voice here? Because it is part of your equipment, part of your workplace. You cannot leave the workplace. Correct or no? So we have to work there. So for that, what we have to do? Either we have to use some protective measures. Correct? Yes. So these types of noise can come from various sources and may affect workers' health, safety, and overall job performance. Somebody will become mad like by gurgle sound, right? Some grinding sound, some drilling sound. Even in your building, in midnight, some houses, some floor, there will be a grinding work or a welding work. It will be throughout the building that noise will be coming, right? You will not be able to sleep. So in one department will be doing drilling, another department is doing some accounting work. If it is similar area, what will happen to that accountant? He will be getting affected. His output will get wrong. His accounting practices will goes wrong, correct? So it will affect the overall job performance. Suppose electricity hazard is there, people are getting electrocution and shock. That is affecting their work activity, right? So hazards can become risk. When it will become risk? When it can become risk? When it is not controlled. So as a workplace, as a worker, we must know what are the hazards pertaining to our workplace and what are the control measures provided by the employer. Suppose you are working in a company, what control measures are provided by the employer? If you don't know, how you will use it, how you can protect you from the hazards? It's not possible, right? So here the importance of training is coming into force because we must know what are the control measures provided by the employer. Are we using it or not? So here the performance get affected if you don't use it. So we are going to learn what is occupational noise, what is the definition, how we are controlling, what are the control measures, sorry, whether these control measures are implemented, are we having enough PPs or resources to implement these control measures. So what is the definition of occupational noise? Occupational noise is defined as any sound in a workplace that can potentially cause hearing loss, stress, or other adverse health effects. So occupational noise is defined as any sound in a workplace that can potentially cause hearing loss, stress, or other adverse health effects. It is typically characterized by its intensity, that is loudness, how much it is hearing, what loud noise it is, and the frequency, the pitch. Grrr, if it is a like frequency is very high, pitch is very high, and the duration, how long you are going to stay there, how long it lasts, how long you are going to stay in that workplace, how long you are spending the time to work that in that area. So it is characterized by the intensity, that is called loudness, frequency, that is called pitch, and the duration, how long it lasts. So any of these three you reduced or you removed, it will reduce. Correct? The loudness, if you are reducing, if it is possible, your problem is solved. Correct? You are isolating that one into a faraway workplace and you are getting the machinery into a different compartment area which is away from your workplace. Solved. It's called engineering or administration control. If it is closed by glass shielding or something, it is called engineering control. If it is moved into another building, it's called administration control. And the source you are reducing, you are removing the source, it's called elimination. So frequency, the pitch you are reducing, you are doing greasing, oiling, and doing all the maintenance. No sound is coming, so pitch you are reduced. Some vehicle sound was creating from vehicle grr, 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 grr sound, and you did the replacement of belt or something or AC belt. So the vehicle sound is stopped, so pitch is reduced. Duration, how long you are going to stay there, like helicopter operation. You are traveling by helicopter for 3 hours or 1 hour. So 1 hour only you have to stay there. So you will use personal protective equipment like earplug or a ear ear covering unit or a helmet with ear muff. Correct? So here we are reducing either duration or loudness or frequency or pitch. What are the noise levels affecting us? So what is the normal talking what we are doing now? Maybe 30 decibel, right? Less than 30 decibel means low voices. 30 onwards it is normal talking. So our talking may go up to 62 decibel. Okay. After that, washing machine will make sound 70 decibel approximate. Vacuum cleaner will sound 75 decibel. Blender will make noise of 82 decibel early morning when you get up. Blender will be making noise. Grrr. Correct. Grrr. City traffic includes, inside car or outside car. It's 85 decibel approximately. Lawn mower, it's making a lot of noise. 90 decibel. Motorcycle, 98 decibel. Party, disco and all speaker will make 100 decibel, big parties. Chainsaw 104 decibel. So like this, it is going up, up, up. Supersonic, hydrosonic, all these sonics, loud rocket, loud rock concert, thunder clap, 120 decibel, jet takeoff, 133 decibel. So when the pain begins here, from 125 decibel onwards, pain begins. So our eardrum is provided such a fashion that it can listen these voices, and more than 125 decibel is very painful, correct? Some that time your hands will automatically go to your ear, correct? Yes, you will close the ears by using both hands. Sometimes somebody will scream in front of you, you will close that, correct? I don't want to listen from this, correct? Because of that loud noise levels. So, which all are the areas we have loud noise areas? Construction sites. Heavy machineries such as bulldozers, jackhammers, and cranes create high levels of noise, which can be harmful if adequate hearing protection is not used. Manufacturing plants, equipment like industrial presses, conveyor belts, and motors often generate significant noise. Continuous exposure without protection can lead to hearing impairment. So, this wording is very important. Continuous exposure without protection can lead to hearing impairment. So, what hearing impairment can happen? So, gradually you will lose your sense of hear, correct? Aircraft operations, airports, and aircraft maintenance facilities can have extremely high noise levels from jet engines and other equipments. Music venues like concerts and music events can, especially those with loud amplification system, can expose workers like sound engineers and security staff to potentially damaging noise levels. Transportation hub areas like bus stations, train yards, and highways have constant traffic noise that can impact those working in or around these environments. Correct or no? Yes. Call centers, even though not as loud as other examples, the cumulative effect continuously you're putting the headset over your overhead and over the years, and you're continuously listening from the customers. Somebody will scream, somebody will shout, somebody will tell something, complaints, all the day complaint only. What will happen? So the loud noise, example, cumulative effect of high volume conversations and ringing phones can create a noisy environment that might lead to auditory fatigue. Hearing conservation. Here it comes the how to manage the noise hazards to reduce the impact of health safety. Hearing conservation programs. So what you will do, you will conduct hearing conservation programs. So you will check hearing losses. Prolonged exposure to high levels of noise can lead to irreversible hearing loss known as noise induced hearing loss. That is called NIHL, noise induced hearing loss. This type of hearing damage often starts with a loss of the ability to hear high frequency sounds and can progress to significant hearing impairment. Tinnitus. What is tinnitus? Chronic exposure to loud noise can cause tinnitus, a condition characterized by a persistent ringing or buzzing in the ears. This tinnitus is very, it is something different from all others, because only that particular person with tinnitus problem will be hearing that noise. Doctor or any other staff cannot hear that noise. Suppose I am having this problem, I will go to the doctor saying that my ears are producing some noise, persistent ringing or buzzing noise. Boo noise will coming in, noise is coming from my ears. So that ear, that really is not there actually. Only I am listening that one. No others can listen that one. That is called tinnitus. So continuous exposure can cause this problem. Physical health, stress and anxiety. Constant exposure to loud noise can increase stress levels and contribute to anxiety. So how it can affect the physical health? It will increase the stress and anxiety. The body's response to noise stress can include higher blood pressure and increased heart rate. So your heart rate can be increased or your BP blood pressure can be increased. It will again cause sleep disruptions. Noise can interfere with sleep quality, leading to fatigue and decreased ability to concentrate during the day. So your concentration will be lost, your BP will be high, your heart rate will be high, the stress will be increased, your anxiety will be increased. So physically it is health, physical health also it is getting affected. Cognitive behavior effects. So reduce the concentration. High noise level can impair cognitive functions such as attention, memory, and problem solving abilities. These are called cognitive abilities. Attention, memory, and problem solving abilities. So it can reduce this. So this can affect the productivity and decision making. So your decision making will be delayed. So your productivity will be always reduced. Communication challenges. In noisy environments, verbal communication becomes difficult, leading to misunderstanding and errors. Have you ever been in such situation? Lot of noises are happening and your talking is not heard audible to the others, especially during emergency communication in a noisy area. Example, you are in the helicopter. You want to convey some message from pilot which will be coming to your headset and you will be conveying verbally, vocally to others. It is difficult. You cannot hear anything there. Other than the headset communication, nothing can be audible there. So what you have to do, you have to move your headset to others and repeat the communication again. So these are the communication challenges we will have during emergencies in helicopter and all. So it is very important to have communication, facilities for these kind of challenges. Next is safety risk, accidents and injuries. Noise can mask wearing signals. Sorry, accidents and injuries. Noise can mask warning signals. So noise can mask warning signals. What is the meaning of that? Suppose some engine is creating some noise, some equipment is creating some noise. It is a warning signal that is going to burst or blast. Okay, and you could not hear because of the other noise of landing a helicopter. So ultimately, what is going to happen? This plane will blast. Correct. So noise can mask the warning signals such as alarms or verbal warnings, increasing the risk of accidents. So it increases the risk of accidents. For example, if a worker cannot hear an approaching vehicle or machine warning, they are at greater risk of injury. Reduced alertness. High noise levels can lead to decreased alertness, which can impact the worker's ability to respond quickly to hazards or emergencies. So reduce the alertness of the staff. So you cannot hear anything. What they are telling, others are telling, we don't know. We cannot tell anything. We will not be, responding to anything in that scenario. Legal and financial implications. So compliance will be checked by regulatory authorities. So many jurisdictions have regulations and standards regarding the acceptable noise levels in the workplace. Failing to manage noise hazards properly can result in legal penalties and fines. So legal penalties will come because of non-compliance. Cost of compensation will happen. Hearing loss and related health issues can lead to compensation claims and increased insurance premiums. Addressing noise hazards proactively helps avoid this cost. So you are reducing the cost of compensation by implementing noise hazard conservation program. Recognizing occupational hazardous noises. So in an occupational place, occupational health and safety manager. What he will check? He will check the average noise level. What they will do? They will come with a meter, audiometer, and they will check the noise levels in your working area. Based on that, they will make a risk assessment and they will provide you control measures as per the control measures provided in the risk register. So hazardous occupational noises are starting with amber color. So 95.8 onwards, they want to conserve, they want to control the exposure time, they want to reduce the time you will spend there. So 93 onwards, it starts actually. So it can be like 4 hours, 2 hours, like that. They will reduce it to 15 minutes, 10 minutes, like that. The duration you will stay there. There should be one caution signage, high noise area, hearing protection may be required or must be required. Based on your area requirement or country regulations, wording may be changed. But there should be a caution signage. Noise hazard safety, prolonged exposure to noise, excessive noise can cause permanent hearing loss. So this where appropriate hearing protection is a mandatory to work this area, like that there will be some warning signage. Then you have to switch off the machinery which is producing a lot of noise. Book regular hearing tests. Use screens and barriers to reduce noises. Conduct regular risk assessments. Display clear safety signs. Take regular breaks for noisy environment. Report any hearing issues immediately. Implement warning signals with lights and strobe lights, something like that, which will attract the attention of visual attraction of that staff working in that area. So your hearing only lost, so you can see it. So lighting, different colors of lighting, different strobe lighting, warning lighting, hazard lights can start in that area, so you can change the warning signal style. Anatomy of ear. So conservation program, when you go, you must know what's happening in the ear. So there are three layers in the ear. One is outer layer, outer ear it is called. Then is middle ear and inner ear. So these are the parts marked 1, 2, 3 and 4. Pinna, where we are hearing, that outer area. Then it goes to the auditory canal. Then it reaches to the tympanic membrane. Then it goes to the semicircular canals. Then straps, oval window. Then finally it is going to the cochlea. Then auditory, you know, it will create that voice. Then it will go to the vestibular nerve and it will finally audible. So pinna, ear canal, eardrum, auditory ocellus, cochlea, auditory nerve. So what are the functions? It is clearly given here. If you want to understand, pinna collects the sound waves and funnels them into the ear canal. So pinna means outer ear, what you are seeing from, from outer side. That one having like a, collection point, right? It is collecting the sound from front side always. Correct? Then ear canal is a tube that connects the pinna to the eardrum. So the eardrum, what it will happen? The eardrum is a thin membrane that separates the outer ear and inner ear. Sound waves that travels down the ear canal make it vibrate. So eardrum broken means kalas. It will not vibrate. It will go inside fume. So eardrum is very, 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 very important. It should not be broken. Then auditory oscills. These are the small bones that carry the vibrations from the eardrum to the cochlea. They amplify the vibrations, which is color is in red color, you can see here. So all the different colors marked in red is the parts what we are discussing here. Ear canal you have seen in red, and eardrum you have seen one small red color here. Next one is cochlea. Everyone knows that cochlea. It is a spiral shaped chamber that is filled with liquid. It has hairs that line it. It converts the vibrations into electrical signals. So main function is cochlea is doing here. All parts of parts are very important here, but cochlea is doing the signal conversion into electrical signal, and the auditory nerve connects the cochlea to the brain. It is auditory nerve function. It carries the electrical signal to the brain. So in this function, okay, eardrum, auditory oscillus, cochlea, auditory nerve. Any impairment happens to these area cannot be reversed unless a surgery. Without a surgery, you cannot be reversed. It's very, very delicate parts. You must be very careful about this part. So the health effects of your noise hazard is, one is tinnitus. We have discussed about it. It's the ringing of bell sound in the ears. Tiredness and stress, another issue. Noise induced hearing damage can happen long term. Inability to hear a vehicle or approaching alarms. Noise risk assessment. So what is the meaning of why you are doing the noise assessment? To identify which workers are exposed to how much noise level and time of exposure, to provide the employer with a record of information, to take suitable measures in place to control exposure to the noise. Noise assessment. Differently Different types of noise meters that can be used to undertake noise measurement include simple sound level meters, measure the instantaneous noise levels, and can be used for spot checks for very simple surveys. You might have seen that handy equipment, sound level meter. Nowadays, it's coming in the mobile also as an app, but not that much, believable. Integrated sound level meters. It will be a small meter again. Measure noise level in a period of time and given in a time weight. So weight average over that time period, useful for most of noise surveys. So you might have seen in a tripod, they will keep one noise survey equipment and they will put some liquid in that one and they are keeping in that. Correct? You have seen that one. Dosimeters, integrating sound level meters worn by workers to give measure of a personal noise exposure, useful for work areas where people move around a lot. So noise level meter is a dosimeter where it will say that how much noise you are exposed to. Noise control, reducing noise at source, that is called substitution. Maintenance, by maintenance you can do that one. By modifying the process you can do that. By silencing some buttons you can do that. So the hierarchy of control should be followed for any noise control or any control of any hazards. That is elimination, removing the hazard from that area. Substitution, use less hazardous substance. Engineering control, doing maintenance, doing oiling, doing modifying the process, etc. Doing insulation, doing isolation, everything is engineering control. Then administrative control means moving the office to another location, sending the employee via company vehicles, don't allow them to go there, or shift work employees, allowing them to work in different two splits, like half day shift, afternoon, evening shift again. So like that, your split shift is called split shift. So exposure will be reduced into 4 hours different. Then finally, if nothing happened, PP, personal protective equipment, is the last sort of hierarchy of hazardous controls. Sorry. Interrupt the pathway, insulation, isolation, absorption, like chemicals and all. For electricity, you can do insulation. Absorption can be done for chemicals like spill kit, spill management kits. Protect the receiver, hearing protection, health surveillance, audiometry programs, your health surveillance programs, medical checkup, periodic medical checkup, PMA, periodic medical assessments, hearing protection. Earmuffs fit over the head and attached to the safety helmet. Earplugs inserted into auditory canal section. Earplugs they are using whenever you are going to helicopter or big flights, which is making a lot of noise. Earplugs will be provided. Comfort and fit. It should be comfort and fit. How to while selecting, you have to see that one, whether it is comfort or fit. Maintenance and care should be there. Training and information and instruction should be provided. Issued to visitors. Also consider hygiene issues like fresh copy only will be issued. Personal choice, noise reduction. Role of health surveillance. Health surveillance should be systematic, regular in the form of audiometry to be carried out to all workers potentially exposed to exposure above 85 decibel exposure limit. So what is the average exposure limit? Maximum 85 decibel is the average. So more than 85 decibel, we should either split shift or use appropriate personal protective equipment or any other elimination techniques. Workers with known hearing damage at lower levels, audiometric testing shall be conducted. It's a medical test that quantifies sensitivity of a person hearing across the range of frequencies. Which of the following is not a health effect from exposure to noise in the workplace? Tinnitus, yes, it is a noise hazard related issue. Noise induced hearing damage, yes, it is also related to your health hazard, noise hazard. Presbycusis, no, this is not related to any health hazard from noise. Stress, yes, it is also related to noise. Situation based questions and answers. Question: you work in a factory where the noise level consistently exceeds 85 decibels. What steps should you take to protect your hearing? So the ideal answers are provided here. You can change the answer according to your knowledge level and skill level. So one of the ideal answer is you should use appropriate personal protective equipment, that is called PPE, such as earplugs or earmuffs to reduce the noise exposure. Additionally, you should ensure regular hearing tests are conducted and if possible, implement engineering controls to reduce the noise at the source. So at the source, you can reduce the noise, that is called engineering control through sound insulation. So you are working in a factory where the noise level is consistently exceeds 85 decibel, which is the average. This is called alarm, as low as reasonably practicable. Alarm level noise, it is 85 decibel. If it is more than that, you have to use either PPE or engineering control, or you have to conservation test or hearing test to be conducted. Elimination control should be implemented by sound insulation. Okay. During a routine inspection, you find that a machine's noise level has increased significantly. What should be your immediate action? You should report the increase to your supervisor or the safety officer. The machine should be inspected and repaired if necessary. It, in the meantime, use the hearing protection and minimize the exposure to the increased noise levels. So if the machine is not in use, you can switch off also so that temporarily it will be stopped. And after the reporting, they can come and check and test, then they can restart it. An employee complains of hearing difficulties after working in a high noise environment. What is the best approach to address this issue? Ensure the employee undergoes a hearing assessment as soon as possible. So, hearing assessment should be done. Review their noise exposure history and adjust their work practices if needed. Like I said, 10 hours, 10 hours if they are working there means it's 8 hours only allowed to work in 85 decibel, right? So they are working 8 hours in 86 decibel or 87 decibel. You have to reduce the duration of stay there into 4 hours or 2 hours. Implement and reinforce the use of hearing protection and investigate if there are ways to reduce the noise level in the work environment, like isolation or protect ceiling of that area, something you can do. Engineering control. Noise level in a warehouse vary depending on the time of day. How should you monitor and manage the noise exposure? Conduct noise level assessment at different times of the day to determine the exposure patterns. Use the data to implement a noise management plan that includes appropriate PP, periodic noise level monitoring, and control measures to minimize exposure during peak noise periods. You notice that employees are not consistently using hearing protection in a noisy area. What strategies can you use to improve compliance? So you notice that the employees are not consistently using hearing protection in a noisy area. What strategies can you use to improve compliance? Implement regular training and awareness programs about the importance of hearing protection. Ensure that PP is easily accessible and comfortable. Consider conducting regular audits and providing feedback to reinforce proper usage. Encourage a culture of safety where employees remind each other about the importance of hearing protection. So here we have to implement regular trainings and awareness programs to understand them about the importance of hearing protection. So first you have to make you have to tell them that why you wanted to use this noise protection in this area. So regular training awareness programs. Ensure PPEs are easily accessible and comfortable. So accessibility is very important here, and comfortability of wearing also important. Consider connecting regular audits. We have to check them whether they are using it. Feedback and reinforce proper usage. You have to ensure that they are using. Encourage a culture of safety where employees remind each other. So we have to tell each other that please use if they forget to use at times. A new machine is installed in a workplace that generates high noise level. What should be done to assess and manage the risk? So a new machine is installed in a workplace that generates high levels of noise. What should be done to assess and manage the risk? Conduct a noise assessment for a new machine to determine its impact on the overall noise level in the workplace. So overall noise level, how much is increasing in the workplace, you have to assess. Implement noise control measures. So what control measures to be implemented based on that? So such as sound enclosures or barriers if possible. So we will put some glass barriers or insulate that area by using some compartmentalization if required. Provide appropriate hearing protection for workers exposed to the noise and update your risk assessment and safety protocols. It's very important to assess risk assessment, risk register to be revised, risk assessment to be revised, and risk assessment control measures to be implemented, protocols to be maintained, policies and trainings to be provided for this new machine. Work instruction to be developed, hearing conservation program to be developed for the new machine. An employee working in a noisy environment is frequently exposed to noise above the recommended limits. What administrative control can you put in place? So administrative measure means you know that, no? Job rotation. So implement job rotation to limit the duration of exposure for each employee. Schedule regular work breaks away from the noisy areas. Maintain noise exposure records and monitor adherence to the exposure limits. Review and adjust the work schedules to minimize the continuous high noise exposure. You are tasked with designing a new workplace where high noise levels are expected. What considerations should be made to manage noise effectively? So you are asked to designing a new workplace where high noise levels are expected. What considerations should be made to manage noise effectively? Design the workplace to include noise control measures such as sound absorbing materials, like you might have seen in the film halls, cinema halls. The walls are made by some absorbing materials. Lot of holes will be there in that material, right? So that noise will be absorbed. No echo will be produced. The noise barriers you might have seen in some of the building, where the pump room will be separated with a separate room area. It will be always closed, fire pump and other pumps. Noise barriers will be there for that rooms. And equipment enclosures. Some equipment will be in the enclosures. Whatever the equipment will make a lot of noise, like a pump, water pump. Ensure proper ventilation and maintenance and to minimize the noise, like local exhaust ventilation fan creating noise. What you will do? Maintenance. Plan for the strategic placement of noisy equipment to reduce impact on workers and include areas where employees can take breaks from the noise. Like you might have seen the AC chillers, yards, everything will be placed away from the main workplace so that that sound will not be affecting your office work areas. Sometimes it will be placed on the roof or far away from your area. A new safety regulation requires additional measures for noise control. What steps should you take to comply with these regulations? Review and understand the new safety regulations related to noise control. Update your noise risk assessment and control measures accordingly. Implement any additional engineering control or administrative control required by the regulation. Communicate the changes to all employees and provide training on any new procedures or equipment. Ensure ongoing monitoring and compliance with the updated regulations. So a new safety regulation requires additional measures for noise control. What steps to take comply these regulations? So we have to identify what is the new safety regulation. Okay, you have to conduct a new risk assessment, noise risk assessment, and control measures you have to redefine. Implement any additional engineering or administrative control required by the regulation. So by the regulation, if you are getting any of the kind of control measures required, means you have to implement that one. Communicate these changes to employees. So you have to tell the employees that there are new regulation came, then so that we implemented this new training, new methodology of PP, everything. So again, you have to ensure ongoing it is a audit should be audited so that it is monitoring are happening and compliance is 100% available. So we will discuss some terminologies here. Noise defined as unwanted sound. Sound pressure or acoustic pressure is a local pressure of deviation from the ambient atmospheric pressure caused by a sound wave. The unit of pressure measured is in pascals. Intensity and number of pressure change in the noise determines its amplitude and intensity. Frequency. Frequency is a perceived by the listener a pitch or a tone. It is measured in the cycles per second. That is called hertz. Decibel is the unit of sound pressure level. Like we said, 85 decibel is the average occupational health level of exposure. That is the maximum level of exposure to be without any personal protective equipment. Workplace it is updated up to 85 decibel only. Decibel, noise measurement scale matching human hearings. Decibels A, decibel C, the noise measurement scale accurate for impulse noise. Action level, level which non harmful for an average 8 hours exposure. 8 hours of exposure. That is 85 decibel. Thank you for watching. If you like my video, please share with your team so that new people will join in my courses, and also give good feedback to my trainings so that I'll improve my trainings further. Thank you. Thank you for your cooperation time.